Welcome to the Art of Likability, ranked one of the top podcasts in the world. In this podcast, you'll discover how to leverage likability to build stronger relationships, lead more efficiently, close more sales, and keep customers happy while increasing success in your professional and personal life. Let's jump in with your host, Arel Moody.
What's going on, Likability family? Arel Moody here, your host of the Art of Likability podcast. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Unless you're driving right now, that would be a horrible decision to make. Can you imagine if you were listening to the silky smooth sounds of Arel Moody on the Art of Likability podcast? I tell you to throw your hands in the air, and you almost feel like the Pied Piper was telling you to throw your hands in the air, and you was a rat. Because if you haven't read the story of the Pied Piper, rats love the Pied Piper, so they listen to him. So I say throw your hands in the air, you take your hands off the wheel, but you don't have a Tesla. Teslas are self-driving vehicles. I think at least some of their models are. So you don't have a Tesla, so you throw your hands in the air, and you're like, oh my goodness, why are my hands in the air? I don't know what's gonna happen right now. This ain't safe. And then you gotta grab the wheel, and then you feel bad because you didn't put your hands in the air, but then you realize, I do have a Tesla, and it's self-driving mode, so I'm fine. Did that just happen for you? Because that would be incredible if that happened for you. Today, I have a very great strategy for you. We're coming to the end of 2017. I have no idea when you are listening to this. It could be 2075 right now, and you could be listening to some old podcasts on, you may be like, look at this old antiquated MP3 that magically sends audio through the air into my device. I don't know. Maybe it's 2017 and you're listening to us when it comes out. And you're like, whoa, year's coming to an end. I got to start thinking about 2018. I got to start thinking about what I'm doing, which is a great thing to think about. So I want to give you some strategies for implementing a great end of the year review. So first thing, I encourage you to review the things that went well this year. Very important. Now, there's a great strategy I recommend you do. You can start in 2018, which would be great to make the end of 2018 easier to do this. So you get basically a jar with a lid, like a mason jar, or you get a box, whatever, and you just have like Post-it notes, slips of paper, and a pen by it. If anything good happens, anything memorable, like it's a good memory, like, oh man, my kids just made me a heart, and it was a beautiful heart, and it was great. Or there's actually this funny thing happened to me. Actually, this is a true story. I was with my son and we were going out to eat, and he looked at me and he said, Daddy, if you could be anything you could be, what would you be? And I said, that's a good question, son. I said, I would be an entrepreneur and a father. I'm doing that right now. He said, no, Daddy, like if you could be anything in the world, what would you be? Not what you are right now. And I said, son, like I'm doing what I want to do. Like I'm an entrepreneur. I love the work that I do. I love being your dad. Like this is what I want to be. He said, no, Dad, if you could be anything, what would you be? And I said, I said I'd be a TV. I'd be on TV, right? He said, no, Daddy, you were on TV. I was just on the show The Doctors a couple of weeks ago. He said, you've done that, Daddy. If you could be anything. I was like, all right, son, I said, okay, why don't you tell me, like if you could be anything, what would you be, son? And he looked at me and he said, Daddy, I would be juice, because if I was juice, I'd be wet and slippery and I could slide all over the place and fit anywhere I want. And I just paused and looked at him and I said, son, you've taught me a lot about thinking outside the box. And that was a great memory. So that would be an example of a memory that you would write down on a piece of paper, fold it, put it into the jar, and just move on with your life, right? Or maybe you land a big client, or maybe you get a promotion, or maybe you ask someone out and they say yes, or whatever it is, right? Like these moments that just mean something to you, right? So you write them on a slip of paper, throw them in a jar, throw them in a box, move on with your life. At the end of the year, or on New Year's Day, if you're sober, hopefully, you go to the jar and you open it up. You could either do this, at the end of December, you can do it New Year's Day, whatever it might be. And you open a jar and you just take the papers, and you can do this with a family member, a friend, just by yourself, whatever. And you just go through your memories of the year. And you kind of read them and go, oh, I remember that, and I remember this. You know, if you want to go the extra mile, you can put the date on it. That might be nice to go, oh, this happened. I can't believe that happened in February. That feels like just yesterday. So it's a great way to review the year. So it's a really great strategy. So I recommend using it for 2018 and beyond. But, you know, for now, if you don't have that strategy, you haven't used it, just think about like what's gone right in 2017. Like, what do you appreciate? What are things that have evolved and changed in your life that mean something to you, right? That's a beautiful thing. Next thing you do is you start saying, what would mean the most to me right now? That if I improved it, it would have the most feeling of positive impact and is most believable that I could achieve soon. That believability and excitement intersection is the key to setting proper goals for 2018. Okay. Now, I know people say goals like they set a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. So some of you might say, okay, you know, you have $300 in a bank account and you say in 2018, I will be a millionaire in cash. I love you to death. I really do. If you listen to this podcast, that means you're rolling with me. So you know I'm rolling with you. That's not a good goal for you because you may be really excited about it, but you don't believe it. So you have the excitability, but you don't have it intersected with believability. So the excitement is high, but the believability is low. It's not something you're going to go after. It's just not. Now, let's say you have $10,000 in your savings account, but it would be awesome to have $15,000, right? Because you're like, man, I got 10, but if I had 15,000, that would be a nice little cushion. I could do a lot with that. Well, if you have 10,000, getting to 15 isn't unreasonable, not unreasonable at all. And it would grow. Or maybe you want to get to a number like 25,000. Like maybe there's something about the ring of having 25 grand and cool hard cash in your savings account that just sounds amazing to you. And you got 10, so you got to go from 10 to 25, which is, you know, if you save 10 in a year, saving to 25 is aggressive. But maybe that's like, man, it just has a nice ring to it. I like it and I want it. That's a great goal because it excites you and it's believable. It's a good goal. Or maybe you could say something like, you know what? I really want to, let's say you're someone who, you know, works at your job. And you say, I really want to keep my job this year. Okay, let's say that's, like, let's say for some reason you set that goal. Like, I just want to keep my job. So the believability is high on keeping your job. Like, I believe I'm going to, like, you know, as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, you know, I shouldn't get fired. So your believability level is high, but your excitement level of staying in the same job, making the same pay, doing the same work, if that excitement level is low, well, it'd be a bad job. But people say, but Arel, like, keeping my job, that's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. Like, for sure, being, you know, gainfully employed is better than being unemployed. But if your current position and your current salary isn't going to excite you, then that's just playing it safe. And playing it safe is not a good goal either. You have to intersect believability with excitability. I just made that up. I didn't even know I was going to say that. That's dope. Write that, hashtag that, write that down. Believability has to intersect with excitability. Is excitability a word? I think it is. If it's not, I just created it. I could do that, right? You know, it's like a crindle, findle, spindle. There's a book about the kid with the pencil. Have you never heard of it? It's a great concept. Basically, the kid started calling he said, how do words come in a dictionary? And basically they said, well, if enough people use the word, it becomes part of common language. It becomes part of common language. It goes into a book. So he said, I'm going to call this pencil a crindle. I don't know. It could be something else. It could be a completely different word, but it feels like it sounds like that. If you know what it actually is, tweet me at Arel Moody, ARELMOODIE. If you can't remember this because I'm talking, just look at your podcast player. My name's on it. I'm the only Arel Moody in the world. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram or Twitter, that's your fault, not mine. Because I'm so easy to find. Like, it's just all over the place. So send me a Facebook or LinkedIn, a message on MySpace. Hit me up on Farmers Only if you're feeling extra vigorous in your outreach. I do not have an account on Farmers Only. That was playful humor. But I'm here and you're there, and I don't know if you're laughing, smiling, or just looking at me with a screw face. Like, why are you talking about Farmers Only? I created Farmers Only. Are you the founder of Farmers Only and you listen to my podcast? If you are the founder of Farmers Only and you are listening to my podcast, send me a message and just say hi. And I'm going to say, good day, sir. Good day. Speaking of good day, if you are an Australian and you're listening to my podcast, please, it would mean the world to me. Can you please tweet me a video of you saying, good day, mate. You're awesome. Like, if you could do that, that was my best Australian accent, by the way. I know, I'm from New York. I get it, okay? But if you're Australian and you're listening to this podcast, I implore you, send me a tweet at orelmoody.com, a video of you saying, good day, mate, you're awesome, and just say it in your normal voice, which would be an Australian accent to me. Like, I know I have an American accent to you, but in my mind, I sound normal. And I know you, in your mind, sound normal, but to me, you have an Australian accent. It would make my day. It's never happened before. How did we get here? Sometimes I go on these tangents, and I don't even know how I end up. I didn't have the intention to start there, and then I ended there. And then sometimes I just stop, and I look around, and I say, Orel, how did you get here? The answer is, I don't know. What's even more important is, I don't care. But let's talk about excitability and believability, okay? You gotta have excitability and believability in goals. If you are excited about a goal and you believe that it'll happen, you'll work toward it. It'll make life more exciting because it's exciting. And if you believe it'll happen, well, that means it's more real. So you have real excitement in your life. Most people set goals like, I don't know, I want to be happier this year. Well, that might excite you, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, it's not real. It's like saying, I want moglopoporus. That's not a real word. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know if I said something in Klingon just now, but glopropolis is not a real thing. So saying I want to be more happy, it's like a great conceptual idea, but it's not tangible. You want to get down to, okay, I want to be more happy. Great. Then my follow-up question to you is, what would make you more happy? Look at your life. What would make you more happy if you had it? Well, could be a different kind of relationship, a more improved relationship. Okay, go down the rabbit hole. So let's say you choose relationships. Like, let's say you're single right now, or you're in a relationship. Those are usually the two options that typically exist, right? So let's say you're single, or let's say you're in a relationship, and you say, I want to be more happy. And if you're single, you want to get into a relationship. And if you're in a relationship, you want to like create a new spark of excitement in your relationship. Great. Next question is, what will it take for you to get into a relationship? And what will it take for your relationship to have the spark that you want? Now, I know someone who is dating or is single right now and wants to date, but they don't actually go on any dates. And they go, I'm too busy. I'm over it. I don't know how to find a good guy, so I just don't go on dates. Well, listen, if you're single and you want to date, the very first thing to do is I'd recommend going on a date. But you may say, Orel, how do you find said date? Well, I'll tell you something. I'm a married man. I haven't dated in a very, very long time. But if I was dating, I feel like there's tons of options. I mean, there's so many dating apps. There's meetups. There's like talking to friends. Like the fascinating thing is, literally just going to friends and saying, hey, just so you know, I definitely want to date someone. If you know anybody that might be a good fit for little old me, you go ahead and let me know. The funny thing is, just by asking that of friends, like literally saying, if you know someone, hook me up, you'll be surprised how many dates you'll go on. And go on them. If the dates stink, whatever, at least you went on them, right? I would get on dating apps and get on ones that you like. Like, don't get on Give It To Me Hard app. I don't know if that's an app. That was a weird, I don't know if that's an app, and it could totally be about like concrete mixing, right? I don't know if it's a real app, right? It could be a concrete mixing app. Give It To Me Hard, concrete edition, right? We're gonna move on. That could go into a really weird direction that I don't even want to go down, right? But like, you don't go on like an app, like, if it's an app that makes you feel uncomfortable, you don't go on that one. Like, there's tons of respectable ones, right? I don't know all of them, but like there's a one, Bumble, like that one's real popular. young lady run it. I just read about her on, I think it was Forbes. She was like on their 30 under 30 list, right? Good for her, right? So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, and feel free to tweet me if I'm just horribly wrong. If you're the founder of Bumble and you listen to my podcast, say hello, because I'm talking about you, because I'm saying what's up to you, right? So let's say you go on Bumble, and I think if you're a woman, guys will say, hey, how are you? And then the woman goes, I like that, I'm gonna talk to you. Or no, it might be the woman has to be the one to go, how are you doing, gentlemen? Like, I think the woman has to outreach and then the guy has to approve. So the woman has a little bit more power, so she doesn't have to worry about like, inappropriate messages or tons of guys hitting on her, who are kind of, actually someone told me this funny thing about dating apps. They said, here's how you kind of categorize people really quickly on dating apps. If the guy has a picture of his shirt off, like he's at like the pool with his shirt off, or he's at like, the bar with bottles of alcohol in his hand or something, he just wants sex. That's not the relationship picture. If he's on the app and he's holding a kitten or a puppy, that dude wants a relationship. Okay, so you just kind of, you kind of look for these things. Oh, he has his shirt off, he may just want sex. Oh, he's holding a puppy, he may want a relationship. Or he may have listened to the Art of Likability podcast and he's holding that puppy as a decoy because under his shirt, he is naked. That's facts. Think about that. Under your clothes, you're naked. Let that simmer in your little brain for a moment, right? But the key is, you put yourself out there. You try Bumble, or you try coffee and donuts, or bagels and coffee and cream. There's a thing, just Google it. Dating app, bagel, coffee. It's a thing, okay? I don't know all of them. Clearly I didn't do my research well enough during this part of the message, but there's a bunch of them, right? Just go on them. Yeah, you're gonna find a bunch of mismatches. Okay, fine, you go on some dates that aren't great. Yo, like, that's the only way it's gonna happen, right? I can tell you what, staying in your house and watching Sex in the City and eating ice cream ain't gonna get you a date. There's not like, she ain't gonna jump through the TV and be like, let me pull you into this fantasy world and give you a date. Like, the show's ended decades ago, years ago, whatever, right? But hey, maybe going to a meetup, maybe you're interested, like go to meetup.com, it's a cool website. Let's say you're interested in, entrepreneurship or tech or pottery, right? There's meetups for people interested in that stuff. So you go to the meetup and you go around people who are interested. Maybe you do salsa dancing, right? There's tons of like salsa dancing clubs all over the country. And you'd be like, but Aurel, I can't dance. That's why you go to lessons, to learn how to dance. Maybe you're like, Aurel, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Shut up, yes you do. I don't ever want to hear that, I don't have time business. Of course you have time. You have time for the stuff that you care about. If you don't care about it, you don't have the time. If you care about it, you make the time. So I want you to set some goals that excite you and you believe. It has believability and excitability. And you ask yourself, what do you want? If you have a generic concept, I want to be happier, healthier, richer, whatever, then say, what would have to happen for me to feel richer? You give an answer. And then you keep going until you have something tangible that you can do. Maybe you want to like go on 10 dates. Maybe you want to just find a boyfriend. Maybe you want to find a girlfriend. Maybe you want to go on a vacation. Okay, great. Where do you want to go on vacation? I don't care as long as it's not where I am right now. Cool. Set something up. Like, yo, by the way, if you want to go on vacations, I'm a huge advocate of cruises. You could go on like a baller, like if you get the right deal, whether you book it at the right season or far enough in advance, you get like a 7-day cruise for like a nickel. Like, I don't know how to, and it's great cruises. Honestly, they give great, I love cruises. You go to like 5 different countries on one trip. I remember I went on this cruise. I went to like Haiti, Mexico, Jamaica, Grand Bahamian Islands. It was Cayman Islands. It was all these different places on one trip. I was like, how do you beat that? It was so affordable. It's like literally the cost of like a hotel per night. Like say like a hotel would cost you like, $150 or so. Like that's how much a cruise costs. So it's like I could just have a hotel and go do stuff, or I could be on a cruise where there's endless food, endless entertainment. I'm on the water and I can go to like 5 countries in 5 days. I'm a big fan of cruise and it's so affordable, honestly. Like you could probably get better deals than what I said. And they got like weekend cruises. Like they got a little 3-day getaway jammy. They got like weeks, months. You could live on one for a year if you was so inclined, right? The point is, get clear. If you want more excitement, more adventure, maybe that's a vacation. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But you have to have excitability, parentheses, I hope that's a real word, and believability. And get something that's tangible and clear for you. So I hope you have an amazing 2018. I hope you finish 2017 strong. Sending you a big old high five. But before I do send you the high five, I got to tell you something. If you listen to this, it means nothing. Nothing. Nada. Nada. This information will not help you in any way. The implementation of this information will absolutely transform your life. Make sure to leave a 5-star review. I read all of them. Some of y'all getting funny with your, I appreciate y'all. Some of y'all listeners, you getting funny with your comments. You're giving the 5 stars, thank you, which I appreciate. And then some of y'all, like, go, if you haven't seen it, go to my iTunes review page. Some of y'all are writing some humorous stuff. I appreciate you and thank you. For those of you who have not left a 5-star review, why you gotta be like that, homie? Why you gotta treat me like that? Huh? Why you gotta treat me like that? I'm out here pouring my soul to you every week and you treating me like that. Disrespectful. Some of y'all like, but Aurel, I got an Android. I don't like Apple. I can't go on iTunes. You ain't got Stitcher? Huh? How you listening to this? Google Play? Huh? How you listening to this right now? What app are you using? Give a 5-star review on that one. I don't care. I ain't specific. You know what I'm saying? You want to give me a 5-star review on iHeartRadio? Do it. There's tons of, we're all over the place, people. If you just want to like literally take 5 stars and cut them like from construction paper and mail it to me, I'll take it. I'm gonna throw it away. I'm gonna be like, yo, this listener literally sent me 5 stars. Thank you. It means you care, and I care about you. I'm out of here, y'all. Sending you a big old high five. You are awesome.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, The Art of Likability, and reach out with any questions you have. Until next time, remember, my friend, you are awesome.